Hello, my Crystal Loves Texas Facebook, YouTube, Crystal Loves Texas Nation. How are you tonight? We're a little bit late coming on, but we had some last minute things that we needed to make sure we got information on so that we could bring them to you. But Rebecca.
Well, let me say this before we
Woo.
even get started.
Okay.
Happy last day of school.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Rebecca. This is such a well-deserved break. You know, there comes a time when you feel like you need to be to be refreshed.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
and I was at that point. It was not a difficult year, but I'm going to tell you there were some challenges. And when you've got the attitudes and the personalities of 1,000 middle school kids between the ages of 11 and 14, that's a lot. You got to have eyes in the back of your head. So you remember that.
Yeah.
Yes. But I love my kids. I love my students. Hey, some of my students, I know some of them watch. I'm going to miss them. I'm going to miss them next year, but I told them to promise to come back. And I've even got one that still wants a campaign t-shirt. I'm going to send this boy his campaign t-shirt. I did not forget about you. But
that's so sweet.
Thank you, Rebecca, for remembering that this was our last day of school for Fort Bend. It was. And I want to say hello to all of my colleagues. You know, happy last day of school to all of you, and for the teachers and HISD that will be getting out next week.
Next week.
Happy almost end of school for you. But Rebecca, listen, we have a lot to unpack here tonight.
We do.
And they're on completely opposite ends of the spectrum.
We absolutely do.
And as my trusty political, you have always, I always, I'm gonna try to temper things to make it, go down with a little bit of sugar in it. But you always are gonna pull it out, lay it on the table, and tell it exactly like it is. So with that being said, our Harris County 2026 runoff election just took place on this past Tuesday.
Yeah.
The 26th of May. And there were some really surprise upsets in that election.
Yes, on both sides.
There were.
On both sides.
Yes, there was some surprise upsets. And why don't you speak to the one that everybody's been talking about? Because we know this candidate personally, and she was, by many, not to us, but by many, she was considered the dark horse.
Letitia!
And that was Dr. Letitia Plummer, and she was running for
Harris County Judge.
Absolutely. And she won her nomination.
She did.
She won her nomination.
One of the things, I actually talked to Letitia 2 days before election day, 3 days before election day, because she was at the polls when I was getting ready to vote.
Right.
And we had a brief conversation with her and Sissy Kyle. Sissy was also running for judge. Yasira Kyles, we call her Sissy Kyles. But I was voting for both of them. And one of the things that was very, very surprising to me, and it wasn't even a surprise, so I'm not even gonna say that the teacher group that we're both a part of on Facebook, a lot of them had confided in me that they were not going to vote for her opponent, even though her opponent was, mayor of the city.
Right.
And one of the major reasons that they said that they were not going to vote for her,
and make it loud and clear,
was because of the HISD state takeover.
Absolutely.
Her opponent was all for it.
Yes.
Now later I think she admitted to some degree she made a mistake because she didn't realize it was going to be, as bad as it is.
But she also supported the incorporation of North Forest ISD into HISD back
The annex.
when that particular school district was annexed into HISD. That was, I believe, the lone African American run school district in the state of Texas at that time.
Sure was.
And they were up against some challenges, as all school districts are now. You know that they were probably running with a lot less funding because of the property tax rates in that area, and they had some challenges.
Right.
That is par for the course. Everyone should expect that. But instead of trying to pour in to a district that from the state that needed to be shored up,
right,
it was just incorporated.
Mm-hmm.
And our the mayor, the former mayor, Anise Parker, thought that was a good thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
and let me say one more thing. I don't disagree that sometimes that needs to happen, but before that kind of thing happens, this is what I would always recommend. You've got to look and see, what have you done? Have you done everything within your power to help them ensure their success?
And see, this is why I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
Simply because if you look at the history of state takeovers,
yes,
even in blue states where education is they're in the top educational percentile
right
in the country, state takeovers never work.
Right.
And I mean, they don't work anywhere. I don't care. There was a state takeover in New Jersey, and that takeover didn't even last 2 years before the state recognized that it wasn't working.
Yes.
And here's the thing: with public schools, it's tricky. It's very, very tricky with public schools.
Right.
And the reason I say that it's tricky because with public schools, everybody everybody has this thing where they want to help, and I want to help the kids, I want to help the kids, I want to help the kids, and I want to do right by the kids, and somebody got to come save these kids, and everybody wants to, and it's all noble,
right?
Most of the time it's noble,
right.
But here's the problem.
Yes.
And the problem is you have to have some type of qualifications to step in and run education.
Right.
Right. And everybody thinks because education is what I call an open profession, meaning if you just got a bachelor's degree, you can pass the certification test, you can be a teacher. Like, it doesn't have any like strict requirements. But you have to have not only certain qualifications, but you have to understand how educational process is run. I'm talking about from the governance of education, because it's not the same. The governance of education all the way down to campus culture, campus, down to what children are learning and all of that other stuff. You have to have some knowledge in that area. And a lot of people think that just because they have degrees that those degrees that they have, they can come and rectify the system. And it doesn't work that way.
And Rebecca, also, let's look at it for really what it actually shakes out to be. How many people of the ones that actually go into, you said, well, you can only have a bachelor's degree and you can go into education. I will say this. A small percentage of the people that go into education actually stay. Right. So what happens is that they get in there and they see exactly what they're up against.
Right.
And it's not what they expected.
Right.
And many of them don't stay. And I always say it is very important that we look at what teachers have to endure and have to face, try to mentor those younger teachers, because when you have a situation where people get in there and don't stay, and when you have teachers that will stay 3 years. Usually at that 3 year mark, do you remember how we interviewed a teacher who came on here when we were over at the other studio? And she was a first year teacher that year. And she had so many challenges. And we said, please consider staying one more year and just see how we get. And she ended up staying another few years. I think maybe she was 5 years in, and then she took a maternity leave. But the thing about it is, when you get teachers to stay, you need to really try to pour into those teachers and keep them in the classroom. Because I will tell you this, AI is not a replacement for your teachers. It is not.
And I think society has now, because I'm chronically online, probably more than I need to be, but I hear that talk all the time.
Right.
Oh, AI is going to replace teaching anyway.
Right.
And then now it's a push in state legislatures and our national legislators to have AI as a replacement.
Not as a tool for a teacher to use.
No,
I use AI as a tool.
I'm not talking about as a tool.
Exactly. That's right. And that's the issue.
There's a school in Chicago right now that will be opening up this fall. It is strictly 100% AI. They have a few professional staffs to quote unquote
facilitate.
Yeah. But the school is 100% AI, and the eyes of the nation is watching this particular campus,
right?
Because if the quote unquote, if it's successful, they want to duplicate it.
Right.
So as you can see, public education is at least trying to be eradicated in front of our eyes.
And it has to do with really the administration that is before us right now. We know that many things have been attempted in the past, and we end up kind of going back to what we know is tried and true. And anytime that you try to take out, that's let's be clear. That's like to have a classroom where you do not have a teacher in it, even when a situation presents itself, Rebecca, that you need that person-to-person interaction it's not a prudent idea. Imagine this. You have a labor and delivery room. And sure, you can train AI robots to deliver babies with just like they do with the bariatric surgery. You can but what if something goes wrong? You're going to need someone in there who knows how to come in and mitigate a situation real time. So we always need to think about that when we think about trying to replace people with AI, because it's just not that's not prudent. It really isn't.
Right. So yeah, that's where we are with this. So going back to the election.
Yes.
I wasn't surprised.
Right.
And so many teachers were saying, she didn't trust us to try. She wrote us off.
Right.
And that was big with a lot of teachers. And then I just started noticing a pattern.
Right.
Throughout this whole thing.
Right.
And the conclusion that I started noticing a pattern throughout this entire
pattern of what, Rebecca?
Election process. The road, well, one of the roads, I'm not gonna say all of it, but one of the roads to a seat in the state of Texas is going to be where you stay on public education.
Absolutely.
So
especially trying to be elected from a county like Harris County.
Right.
Yes. And I think that's probably going to be echoed throughout a lot of other counties is coming up. Now, that was the county judge election. We had, of course, several other elections. We had the runoff election that was for District 131.
Yeah.
Yes, and it was a good election.
It was.
A good election. And
Stacey Childs is now the new representative for that.
she's the Democratic nominee.
The Democratic
Yes,
nominee.
yes. And if you're the Democratic nominee, it's the Democratic district. Come on.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good thing
Mhm.
that this is a heavily Democratic district.
Right.
And the thing is, but one thing that I noticed, and this is something that we got to be aware of, and we've got to figure out how to curtail this coming up to the midterms, ladies and gentlemen. The voter turnout for
Was abysmal.
it was abysmal. And the reason that it was is because you maybe didn't have the really popular names on the ticket this time. What about the upset that many people didn't expect with our congressional?
Yeah,
Congressman.
and everybody is still on their brakes
Right.
in our community.
Yes.
And I want to say this because wherever you stand,
Yes.
with Christian Menifee or Representative Al Green, and he still is the state representative.
No, he's not. He's a congressman. I know what you mean. I know what you meant.
He
Yes.
will be the congressman until January.
Yes.
So District 9 is still in effect until January of
Yes.
2027. So
Absolutely.
he is still my representative.
Right.
But what I was getting ready to say was, everybody wants to say, well, this campaign was ran this way, and this campaign was ran this way, and people were being ageist, and this person had money backed up behind this person,
It's always going to be,
but I want everybody to
different excuses thrown out there.
a
Yeah.
collective breath.
Right.
And the reason why I say we need to take a collective breath,
Yes.
because we're arguing back and forth about what side did what and whose side did who.
Yes.
When all of this is at the foot of, none of this had to go down the way it went down.
Right.
All of this is at the behest of Greg Abbott.
Yes.
Because he wanted to curtail favor and curry favor for whatever reason. I don't know. What
With whom?
With the current administration.
Exactly.
This is where the feet of the problem lies. And I don't want people to get so caught up on one side versus the other.
Yeah.
We have to get to the root cause of it. And
Yes.
the root cause of all of this. Because if it had not been for Abbott trying to appease Trump, there would still be a District 9.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There would still be a District 9.
Absolutely. There.
Right? So I want everybody to keep that on the forefront.
Right.
All these things that are happening now is because of our governor.
Yes.
The joining of District 9, and I hate that my district is being a part of CD18. I don't like it at all, one bit. I can't do nothing about it, but I personally don't like that my district is being snatched away from me when it didn't have to be, right? This wasn't there was no reason for this other than a grown man trying to get approval from another grown man.
And you know what, Rebecca? This is, and we're going to get into something really, really quickly that's a little more exciting than what we're talking about. But here's the thing. This morning, as recently as this morning, what I heard on the news is that the approval rating for this administration at this point in time is the lowest it had ever been, in the 30 percentile.
Yeah, it's like 30%.
Yes.
Down to the 20.
Yes. And the thing about it is, ladies and gentlemen, that is a direct hit. That is a direct reflection of people feeling as though they don't matter.
Right.
And the decisions are not being made in the best interest of the people. And you have someone who will stand in front of a television camera and say, I don't care what the people are experiencing right now. I don't care if they're losing jobs. I don't care if they're losing their farms. They're or they can't go anywhere because they can't afford gas. I just care whether or not Iran has a nuclear, the capability to produce a nuclear weapon. Well, it was already said by your own intelligence that Iran was not a nuclear threat at this time. It was already said. So that was a decision that was made by Donald Trump to go in and do what he wanted to do because he wanted to be a president who was at the helm when a war was going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's right. So that's where we are with that. Like
Yeah.
it's insane. It is.
It is.
And wow, that's all I can say with that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Let me say this. So, with that in mind, with the election coming up in November, what does the community need to do? Let's say that we got lots of people out there who are still not registered. I'm going to say this before I even turn it over to Rebecca. How mad do you need to get? How much money do you need to lose? How many loans do you need to have to take out in addition to your paycheck in order to make ends meet? How angry do you have to get to use the process that we've been given to make our voices heard and do something different? How angry do you have to get? That's the question I'm posing.
That's a good question. That's actually a good question. An executive order was signed yesterday, and I haven't put this on my Facebook feed, but an executive order was signed yesterday where the president is cutting more funding from the VA. The president is cutting more funding from the VA. Which is already, the VA is already,
it was gutted.
It's already on a thimble and a piece of cotton.
Right.
That's the best way I can describe it. This is where the VA is like right now.
Does that say the importance that he puts on the contribution of our veterans? That should tell people right there, if he's willing to cut the funding to veterans. And the thing about it is, our veterans come home and they have to, many of them come home, they don't leave here, come back here the way that they left. And they are gonna have to be dependent in on some level on the government.
Right.
That's what's cut.
Yeah. But he doesn't even see, because he said out of his own mouth that the veterans are losers.
Yeah.
Because
and people forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
in front of the generals that he was walking through the graveyard with.
Right. So
Arlington National Cemetery. I'll never forget that.
And then how much more do you have to take? So now we have, on the Republican side of the house, since we're still talking about the primaries, we have now another stalwart that's being sent back home.
Right.
John Cornyn for Ken Paxton. And might I say, Ken Paxton is one of the most corrupt politicians in Texas history.
She's a Texas history teacher.
He is so freaking corrupt. And now he is the Republican nominee for Senate. And now the beautiful thing about this is that Texas is now firmly in play.
Yeah.
And what do I mean when I say Texas is firmly in play?
Yes.
Texas is now in a position to turn blue.
Absolutely. And we've got a really good candidate who can, in the nicest way possible, put you in your place in a debate. And, a really, really nice person, but with the facts and with the figures and with the evidence behind what he's saying.
Yes.
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 Yes. And if we're going to talk about Christians, who is a Christian person.
Very much so.
Absolutely.
Very much so.
So Rebecca, I'm excited for November. I'm excited for November, and I'm excited because during this summer that I'm off, we're going to try to go ahead and make sure that we do our part in getting as many voters as possible registered
So, yes,
prior to November.
yes.
We're going to make sure that we do that because we need to do whatever it takes. This isn't the first time. This isn't the first time that states have been in this type of position. But that means when we are in this type of position, that means we got to rally the troops.
Yes.
We got to rally the troops and get everybody out there on the field, make sure that everybody knows their position and get it done.
Exactly.
So, Rebecca, with that in mind, last week we talked about the Juneteenth kickoff celebrations that are coming up here in the city of Houston.
All right.
The Juneteenth kickoff celebrations, and we had Kim Dillard, who get her on there. We had Kim Dillard who came in and sat down and told us about 5 to 6 different things that are actually going to be happening.
There's so much going on.
Yeah. And the thing about it is one of them was the Emancipation Park Conservancy's event, which is the kickoff walk, run, and health fair that is going to be coming up. You see her in there?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's going to be coming up next weekend. Just text her and tell her to. Yeah, she's on there. She's on there right now, but I don't want to add her to the stage until she's ready to come on. But the thing is, what we're going to have to do is make sure. Oh, we've got a team that's going to be represented. So Rebecca and I and the Crystal Loves Texas podcast team will be there. And let me pull up the flyer so that you can see exactly what we're talking about. We're excited about this event because Kim and I have taken part in this event for the last 3 years. Yes, for the last 3 years.
3 or 4?
3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, we've taken part in the, there it is. It is the annual Freedom Run Walk. And let's see, I'm going to add Kim to the stage now. And we can't see her camera. Her camera's not on. So we see her. We're trying to add her to the stage, but there she is. Her camera on. That's why we were waiting. Hey, Kim.
Hi, Kim.
Hi, everybody.
Turn your volume up.
Okay. Hold tight.
Can you hear us okay?
I can hear you all okay. Mine is at 100.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Turn your volume all the way up.
It's all the way up.
Okay. So Kim, tell us a little bit about and just speak as loudly as you can. Tell us a little bit about the fun run and walk that's coming up. And we hear that just since we had the podcast on last Friday, the participants have doubled.
That's absolutely right. That is great because once we put the information out there on social media, people started signing up. Now, I'm going to tell you about a couple of things. The first one is the Emancipation Park annual Freedom Walk, Run, and Health Fair. So the Freedom Walk Run, you can actually register on site. Registration starts at 7:00 a.m. Now we're also going to have a warm-up. So once you register, you can just go ahead, start the warm-up, and that's going to be with Sade, and she is the aerobics instructor at Emancipation Park, the hip hop step aerobics instructor. Okay. And the run starts at 8:00. The fun run starts at 8:00. You can go one time around the course, or 2 times, or 3 times. 3 times is almost the length of a 5K. So once everyone is through, or when everyone starts to come in, there is actually going to be a health fair, and vendors are going to be in the courtyard of Emancipation Park. And in the courtyard, it's going to be snacks and it's going to be refreshments. There's going to be lots of information, and it's primarily focused on adults and seniors. Yes. So come on,
that's the health fair.
Walk, and then come to the health fair when you get through. So that way you can get lots of information about, a multitude of different things.
And Kim, I was it, I was very interested to find out that that registering, we have alumni associations from schools. We have church groups that are registering. We have sorority and fraternity groups that are registering. We have teacher groups who are coming out from their schools and we're registering. And we've got some corporate people registering too. So people are coming out and signing up and really making a showing for their organizations.
Right. And there are going to be, quite a few corporate teams and corporate volunteers. And if you have a team, when you come out, wear your shirt from your organization. That way you all can take pictures and, it's going to be a whole lot of fun. So, come out, wear your shirts, show your team spirit, and support the Emancipation Freedom Walk Run and Health Fair. And
now, Kim, what are some of the perks that you guys have got going on for the people who come out in teams? It looks like you guys are going to actually be able to have some team pictures.
Yes, we absolutely always have a photographer there at the walk run. And if you look on our website, epconservancy.org, you can actually see some of the pictures, that are from the years before. So we always have a photographer out. But this time, if you want to have your team have a picture, then that way we'll just make sure that the photographer gets your team picture. And also, now we have T-shirts for the participants. When you come out, the T-shirts are while supplies last. So when you come out, be sure to come out early enough to be able to get a T-shirt when you get through. And it's great. It's going to show the support for the Freedom Walk Run. And one of our major sponsors is HEB. So HEB has been a fantastic community partner for the Third Ward community. So they are our marquee sponsor. So it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be great. Now, y'all are going to be out of school. Teachers, you're going to be out of school. Students are going to be out of school. So that's going to be the perfect kickoff for everyone who has had to slog through a school year
the last semester
and refresh yourself and start on a new leaf in the Freedom Walk Run. So that's great. So that's going to be next Saturday, June 6th. Starting at 7:00 a.m. for registration. You can register online, or you can actually come out and register in person. So, bring your group. That's just fine. Come and register in person if you haven't registered online, and we'll be happy to see you there. And come out, make sure you come out early enough to get your T-shirt too.
And Kim, now the last time, I'm going to mute my mic there. The last couple of times that we participated, it was so much fun because the vendors that came out, they had healthy muffins, they had bananas, they had apples, some even brought juices, some of them had breakfast tacos. It was wonderful.
Yeah,
smoothies, you could sample smoothies, all types of things that they brought out.
Yeah, well, this time we're gonna have vendors who are out there with healthy fare. Of course, if you ever do fun runs, your pre-fun run breakfast and snacks are going to be bananas. Now we're going to have McDonald's who are doing. They're going to be giving apple slices, and they're going to have, of course, water. You need to hydrate. Absolutely, We have plenty of water on the course. And after you come back. During the health fair, we're actually going to have carrabas, and they're going to have, some noshes, some snacks out there for your post-run snacks. So we have pre-run and post-run snacks. So that way, don't just run and leave. We want you to run and want you to get information on health, and then that way get a little snack when you come back from your run.
And Kim, I went ahead, just for people who may need this, I went ahead and posted in the comments where they could register, and they would register at epconservancy.org.
Yes, so let me say this now. For epconservancy.org, that is our website. The
Yes.
website has all of the information on our
And the links.
activities for Juneteenth.
Yes.
So EP, so E is in Emancipation, P is in Park, Conservancy is CONS as in Sam, ERV as in Victor, ANCY.org. epconservancy.org. When you go to the website, you will see the Juneteenth banner, and that's going to have all of the performers for Juneteenth. But if you scroll down a little bit, there's going to be a banner for the Freedom Walk and Run, and there's going to be a button where you press that button, and then you can go up and you can sign up as now. Right now, I think we have all of our volunteers that we're going to have, so you can sign up as a you can sign up as a vendor. We might still have a little space for vendors. It is not anything in an event where you can sell things. This is informational only. The booth spaces are free. We're going to provide a table, and that's going to be an 18-inch by 72-inch table. So it's kind of about half the size of a normal 6-foot table. So it's going to have an 18 by 72 table. We're going to have 2 chairs for you. If you want to bring a larger table, that's just fine. If you want to bring a tent, that's absolutely great, because it's going to be kind of hot out there, even in the courtyard. So go ahead, bring those things, and then sign up, register as a vendor. We'll go ahead and get back with you, and I'm going to be and be sure to go ahead and register ASAP, because I'm going to be sending out vendor packets for the Freedom Walk Run vendors next Monday, or Monday, maybe Tuesday, but probably on Monday for everyone. Once we send out those vendor packets, at that point it's going to be closed. So go ahead if you want to be a vendor and share information about health and wellness. Absolutely go ahead and sign up. Now on to Juneteenth. That is Juneteenth, the reunion. Emancipation Park Conservancy is presented by Emancipation Park Conservancy and HEB. And it's going to be a fantastic event. We call it the reunion because we want to bring everyone together right there in 3rd Ward, the original park site where the Reverend Jack Yates and 3 other leaders of the community got together with the rallied the community. They raised $800, and these $800 were raised by the newly emancipated people. So it raised $800 to buy that 10-acre plot of land that Emancipation Park is sitting on right now. So when you walk in Emancipation Park, you are actually walking and treading historic ground. That's the same ground that the Reverend Jack Yates walked on back in 1872 when they bought and broke ground on Emancipation Park. They actually bought Emancipation Park for the newly emancipated people to have a place to celebrate Juneteenth. And that is because at that time, the parks were it had de facto segregation, and then later on there was actually codified segregation in the city of Houston. So it was the only place where the African American people could get together and celebrate Juneteenth, and they did. So as you can see by some of the pictures Crystal has on the screen, we have the pictures of the ladies in white and the horse and buggies, and they have the horse and buggies decorated with flowers, and it was just wonderful. So that white was kind of representing a rebirth of sorts for the newly emancipated people. They had come through a horrible situation, and they were essentially being reborn into their communities, into their freedom, into taking their lives in their own hands. And we are going to celebrate that because this is going to be an all-white affair. So bring out your white. And remember, it's going to be kind of hot out there because it's Houston and I always say Houston only has 2 seasons, hot and rainy. So we're hoping for hot. I can actually say we're actually hoping for hot on Juneteenth. And it's actually taking place on June 19th, that Friday. We already have over 7,000 people who have RSVP'd. So it's going to promise to be a huge event. We have lots and lots of vendors. We have retail vendors. We have food vendors, food trucks and trailers. So it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And that way you all will get a chance to see some of the new construction and renovations that are going on at the park. And now the picture up there showed the artists that are going to be performing. So we have something for everybody. So we have Robert Glasper, our very own Houston, Texas Grammy winner. We have Scarface, King George. We have Brian Courtney Wilson, 803 Fresh. So we have jazz, we have gospel, we have rap, we have Zydeco. Bring your fans out there because 803 Fresh, we're gonna have boots on the ground. So let me tell you, it's gonna be fantastic. And we also have the Juneteenth choir, of course. And that's led by Brian Courtney Wilson. We're going to also have the inaugural domino tournament. Yes, this is the first time we've ever had it. And it's going to be, I'm sure it's going to be quite something to see. And it's hosted by T.O. Terrell Owens, who says he's not a domino champ, he's a domino aficionado, but I'm sure he's, like many of us who know the people who are really into dominoes, your celebrity means nothing. They're going to throw some bones there when you come. So y'all come with it. So the teams is $50 per team. And it's going to be kind of like a round robin type thing. The teams are going to, compete. And then after that, go ahead and come in and out depending on who the winning teams are. So that is June 19th. The tournament begins at 1. So go ahead, sign up. Now, the sign up for Juneteenth is actually on that same website, epconservancy.org. Is Emancipation, P as in Park, CON, S as in Sam, ERV as in Victor, ANCY.org, epconservancy.org. Same website. When you go to the website, you're going to see the big picture of all the people who are going to be performing. Right underneath the picture, we have the buttons where you would go to sign up. Now, we have already closed the vendor signups. We have our vendors.
That's for Juneteenth.
That's for both.
That's for Juneteenth. That's actually, well, we might have a few more spaces for vendors at the Freedom Run Walk, but remember, that's not an event where you're going to be selling anything. That is going to be informational only. Yes. So please understand that.
If you are
now,
a doctor or dentist or someone who has a health clinic, or if you're going to be offering services, if you are going to be specializing in geriatric care or whatever, and people need to know about your business, that's where you're looking for, Kim, to be at the health fair, correct?
Right. The health fair is going to be informational, and it's primarily information for adults and seniors. It's not necessarily a lot of information for children. That is going to be coming in the fall for our back to school health fair. But for adults and seniors, that is going to be for the Freedom Run Walk. Now, that doesn't mean kids aren't welcome. So yes, bring your kids out, bring your strollers out. And it's a family friendly walk run. It's not a race. We're not going to be, it's not going to be a chip race for anybody who does fun runs. It's not going to be a chip race. It's going to be something that is just for fun. So when you come out, like I said, bring the family, bring the friends, bring the organizations, bring your frat, bring your sorors, bring your church members, bring your alumni groups. It's for fun, and it's so we can all, just have fun and socialize and actually learn something in the process. Now, switching back over to Juneteenth. For Juneteenth, like I said, we are going to have that, lineup. The run of the lineup. That's going to be from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. We did it like that because, as we all know, at high noon in the city of Houston in June, it's going to be 175 degrees. So that's why we want everybody to come out. It's going to be toward the evening. So make sure you bring your mosquito repellent because it's bad this year since it's been raining. Mosquito repellent, please do not bring coolers this time because it is a non-alcoholic event. No smoking, no alcohol, but feel free to bring your camp chairs, bring your blankets, that kind of thing. And you're going to be able to get lots and lots of refreshments right there on the ground. It's going to be cool drinks. It's going to be lots of food on the food trucks, lots of, refreshments. So please come and, go to our vendors, support our vendors. They're there because they're primarily small businesses who are getting their information and getting their businesses out to the community. So please come to support our vendors. It's going to be a cashless event. When you come, and now when people come, they're going to have a phone. Everybody these days has a phone, and almost everybody has some form of cashless payment, whether it's Cash App or Venmo or Zelle or that kind of thing. We just find that we want to make it safer for everyone to be able to enjoy the concert and not have to worry about their till or money or anything like that. Everything is going to be cashless. So bring your phone, and then that way you'll be able to go ahead and get the refreshments. Support our vendors.
Okay, Kim, what should people wear? Is there a certain attire this year?
Yes, like I was saying, it's an all-white affair. So we're looking back to the lady in white who is on the horse and buggy with her beautiful horse and the beautiful flowers and everything. And that actually is a picture from the first Juneteenth parade. And back then, they did have a parade around the park. And they were showing off. They were in their best. They're wearing their finery, decorating their horses and their carriages. Just like these days, if we would go to a parade and you have the banners and everything on your floats. So that's how they did their floats back in the days. That was horses and buggies, and they wore white. So we're going to be wearing white. It's an all white affair. So everyone who is coming, wear white. And dress for the weather. It's going to be hot. It's going to be families there. So please, when you dress for the weather, understand there are going to be families there. So if you know what I mean, and I think you do,
yes,
be sure that your attire is family friendly.
Right.
So yeah, wear your white, come on out, and we're going to have a fantastic time at Juneteenth.
And Kim, Rebecca and I we're gonna revert back to the fun run just for a minute, because we've put this out there. Now we do a podcast that focuses on a lot of political things going on. And we've told some of our friends that we know will be present and representing their parties at the November election.
Now let me say this:
time to come out and meet.
Let me say this. Now, this event is not a political event, but we understand that our representatives are members of our community. They are our friends. They are our neighbors. They are our family members. And they will be out in force, walking around. They're going to be meeting people, shaking hands, and they're going to bring their families, and they're going to be enjoying the music also. They're going to be, having boots on the ground also. So they're going to be out enjoying everything. So even though they are out there and they're coming out to, speak to the community and say hi and all that kind of thing,
they won't be on the mic.
Huh?
They won't be on the mic. That's
right. Absolutely. They won't be on the mic, but understand the only person who will probably be on the mic is going to be our mayor, Mayor Whitmire. He's going to be the host of Juneteenth. So he's going to come and he's going to say hi to the city of Houston. But it's not a political event. So please, when you see your representatives, understand you can say hi and things like that, but be respectful to their families. Be respectful to their husbands and wives, be respectful to everyone, because again, they're going to have their families out there and they're going to be enjoying the show just like you're going to be enjoying the show. So
I'm going to say this because you didn't let me finish.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. What I was going to say is that we encourage all of the candidates who are going to be running in November to bring out their teams and participate as a team in the walk run. That's what I was going to be saying. That's great visibility for them. You have on your campaign shirt. You get a chance to meet the constituents out there as you're participating.
That is so right. Crystal, I'm glad you say that. I'm glad you said that.
See, that's what happens
Yes.
when you let me finish. Y'all, she's been doing this all my life. She cuts me off, but that's okay.
No, I don't really do that. But anyway,
Okay.
yeah, so yeah, all for candidates, come on out and bring your team, have your shirts on, take your pictures, and we can't wait to see you all out there too. And again, that way you can meet people. It's always good
Absolutely.
to meet people in person and just kind of tell them and see how they're doing and everything like that. So and see what people really think. Get your
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So we're sure we're going to see a lot of them out there.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah,
Kim,
but
I want to
remember,
thank you so
it's
much.
not a place.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, remember, it's not a place to politic. So, when you come out, be aware that people are not necessarily, you're not handing out your political information there on the park grounds or there at the run or anything like that, because people are there just to kind of enjoy the run. So,
But you definitely have on your
absolutely.
you definitely have on your shirts.
Now,
Yeah,
telling politicians not to politic is like telling a pastor not to preach.
well, and you know what? I'll put it like this. When we're out there getting ready to run, I'm telling you, I'm not necessarily wanting to grab a little card and stick it in my shirt or my pockets of my shorts when I'm getting ready to walk or run.
And they know that, but
Yeah.
but that's why it's a very, very good way to show your visibility in the community. And you come out with your team and you are dressed in with your information on. And if people want to take pictures with you, or whatever, let them do that.
Absolutely.
These are local celebrities.
Absolutely. So you're gonna see folks out there, and like I said, we're all just people, and we're all coming out to enjoy, have a great time, and celebrate this wonderful Juneteenth. Because right now, we need to be as strong and united as we possibly can in this country.
That's
We
right.
we love all of our folks. We love Third Ward, and that is where Emancipation Park is. That's the home of Emancipation Park.
Yes. And we love Houston.
We love Houston, and we're coming out to just have fun and to make sure that people come and enjoy all the festivities and celebrate this wonderful time when people actually, like I said, are celebrating the
freedom
when
people.
When the newly emancipated people learned that they were free. We got to understand, it's not when 1865, when the war ended, it's when they learned of the ending of the war. We didn't have social media back then. So this is when they learned that the war was over and that they were free. That is
Absolutely.
a wonderful thing to celebrate. That is history. And we need to come out and we need to celebrate our history.
Okay, Kim.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get off, go ahead and tell them the web address one more time, and then we're going to sign off.
All right, very good. Now, I'm going to first say for Emancipation Park for Juneteenth and for the Freedom Walk Run, that is at Emancipation Park, which is at 3018 Emancipation Avenue. That is going to be on Emancipation Avenue, the corner of Elgin Street. When you come for the walk run, I would encourage you to come early, because after 6:30, HPD will have the streets blocked off for the run. So if you get there after that, there are places to park. You can park in the 2M Street parking lot that is right across the street from the park, right across the street from the baseball field.
Okay.
There's also going to be parking in the parking garage across the street in One Emancipation Center. That's the 5-story building right across the street from Emancipation Park. They have kindly allowed us to use their parking lot, as has Jerusalem Church. that is right across the street from Emancipation Park. So,
Okay.
we encourage folks to carpool and that kind of thing, because we're landlocked. Emancipation Park is landlocked, and the spots fill up very, very quickly. Do not block anybody's driveway. Please be courteous.
Right.
But yeah, so and also with Juneteenth, it is we are right now going to have some more information next week about parking, because like I said, at this point, if we have over 7,000 people by the time that we actually get to Juneteenth, it might be the largest one we've ever had.
I believe that it will be.
Well, you have 7,000 people registered. I think y'all topped that already.
Yeah, we probably will have the largest one we've ever had. So again, we're going to go to epconservancy.org to learn and get the information. That is E as in emancipation, P as in park, CONS as in Sam, ER, V as in Victor, ANCY.org, epconservancy.org. Learn about everything there, and then that way you can go ahead and sign up for to come out and be a participant in the fun walk and run, or you can sign up to RSVP for Juneteenth. We want to get it. It's free. All of these events are free. You do not need a ticket. You do not need money to come in. It is free. So we want to have a really good bead on the number of people who may be coming. So that's why we want you to RSVP to the biggest party in Third Ward.
Okay, Kim. Well, I want to thank you again for jumping on and kind of giving us an update. And we want to. And Kim said, I want to give an update because we want to make sure that we are fully prepared for everyone who is going to want to come out and be a part of this. And if we don't have information, we can't be fully prepared for everyone. So there's nothing that's associated with the cost. However, they need to be able to get the right amount of counts. And like Kim was saying, we are going to be able to tell you a little bit more about this on Monday, but there will perhaps be someone coming on who can give some more information about alternative routes or alternative ways to get into the celebration without even bringing a car.
Yeah, absolutely. And parking and everything like that. Logistics is so important. Logistics can make or break an event. So we want to make sure everybody gets there, has a great time, and then gets back and forth safely from their vehicle. So, that's a lot of it. So we're going to be talking about that next week.
Oh, Kim, someone actually popped up on one of the on my text today and asked me, are they going to be checking bags?
You know what? We have not had any sort of bag policy.
Right.
But HPD will be there. And we expect everything to be, we expect everything to be safe. So, I think actually, that's a really good question. And we're going to go ahead and get with the Mayor's Office of Special Events and see exactly what the policy will be on that. And I can talk about that next week also, because again, we want everything to be safe. Like I said, we will have a heavy police presence there, not in a bad way, but in a way that is going to make sure everybody is just love, peace, and soul, just like it has been all throughout these years. So we want to make sure everybody is happy and safe and having a great time. So we're going to get back with that. That's a really good question, and I'm going to check on that, and in that way I will get that information back to you next week.
Okay, Kim, thank you again for coming on. And I got to tell you, probably on next Friday, we're going to call you back on. It's going to be a day before the event, and you can kind of give us an update.
That sounds great. Can't wait. And I can't wait to see you there at the annual Freedom Walk Run at Emancipation Park, presented by HEB.
All right.
All righty.
And the city of Houston, and the Houston Parks and Recreation Department.
And that's right, Emancipation Park Conservancy and the Houston Parks and Recreation Department. We absolutely cannot forget any of our folks who are going to be making this possible. So
Absolutely.
Park Conservancy and the Houston Parks Department. And HEB has always been a fantastic corporate partner. So it's going to be great.
Okay, Kim, well, thank you again. I'm going to go ahead and let you go, and Rebecca and I are going to say goodbye, but we will see you, and we'll probably see you again next Friday.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll see y'all then. Bye.
Okay, Rebecca, lots of stuff going on. Okay. I don't know why it's making me hungry.
No, you were just already hungry.
But I want to thank you guys so much again for tuning in. We had to get that in for you because you know what? It's not often that you have a celebration like this that is free of charge.
Exactly.
For everyone to come and take part in and enjoy and really feel like a guest. You got in your white clothes, you know, everybody, everybody is really, really having a great time. The mayor is the master of ceremonies. We get to meet some of our local celebrities and some of the people that we'll be voting on in November. Yes. So anyway, guys, if you have any questions or comments, put those in the comment section and we'll make sure that we get those answered for you. If you are a vendor who Kim said that there may be a couple of booths left
Right.
for the fun run as far as health and wellness services that are free. Those booths are free. If you've got that kind of business, by all means, or an organization, by all means, get in contact with the Conservancy and they can get you set up with a free booth so that you can promote your business or service. But Rebecca, that was a mouthful.
It was.
And that makes it, since it was such a mouthful, and now I'm tired of talking.
Okay. Well, I close this out.
Yes.
So, once again, we want to thank Kim for coming on and explaining what our
Yes.
due diligence is for the next couple of weeks.
Yes.
As in we're talking about Juneteenth.
Mhm.
And and I hope we brought a little clarity to you today about what's going on in our political framework. I know sometimes, it's like, oh my God, but we need to, be abreast of what's going on because what's going on is affecting each and every one of us in a multitude of ways. So with that being said, Crystal, we had a great show tonight. So
Like we always say, we can do it.
Bye,
We'll see you
guys.
later.